that numbers speak for themselves. Mr. Abdikadir Mohammed, Senior Counsel, will address you on the burden of proof and the standard of proof and whether the reliefs sought by the petitioners can be granted in this matter. If we still have time, as we hope we shall, Dr. Mutumbwa and Peter Wanyama will address you on this issue that seems to be in the fringes, but in our view, totally inconsequential, of the KPMG report and the alleged problems with the voter registrar. Let me start by saying, my lords, you have been urged by several counsel who have spoken before me to find that this election was irretrievably flawed. That from the word go, one counsel said, and I quote, everything that could go wrong went wrong. If that be true, and we deny that that is true, then it would mean that everything from voter registration, voter education, procurement, nomination, voting, counting, tallying, verification, and declaration was totally flawed. What would be the consequence of that? First of all, and I say this with the most tremendous respect, first of all, you have been addressed by counsel of great eminence, including my learned senior, James Orengo, my learned junior, Professor Tom Ojenda. In this court, my lords, as we sit here this morning, there are no less than 3 governors addressing you elected under this election. There are no less than 4 senators elected under this election. And there are no less than 4 members of parliament elected under this election. When, my lords, it is not in my place to suggest the questions you should put to counsel, but I would plead with you to put that question to counsel when they return to the podium. Are they happy with their own election? If they are, how then is it that this election is irredeemably flawed? I suggest with tremendous respect that that is the use of hyperbole. This election was conducted as most international observers observed. It was the fairest. All observers came back with one conclusion. This was an open, transparent election. Was it a perfect election? No, because there is nothing like a perfect election. This is an election conducted by human beings, and there are human errors within the electoral process. Were the few errors that are admitted by IEBC of a magnitude to allow this court to set aside the election? It is our humble submission that the answer is no. It has not been demonstrated, and my learned friend, Mr. Abdikadir, will deal with that matter. Let me point out to you, my lords, that this is one of the few petitions that this court has seen that is full of generalities, innuendos, hypothecations. Yeah. We believe there was one counsel who repeated several times, our theory is, our take is, our understanding is, not evidence, Nothing of probative value, speculation, generalization. It is our very humble submission that, framed in those general speculative terms, lacking clear, cogent, probable evidence, these petitions lack merit. It is made worse, my ladies and my lords, by the fact that the petitions make grave allegations of a criminal nature: fraud, tampering with election materials and results, conspiracy to unlawfully influence an election outcome, and even implied treason. Implied treason. All that without a shred of evidence. All that without a shred of evidence, especially as it relates to the Honorable Chebukati, the chairman of the commission. The vilification against this gentleman goes beyond anything we have ever had before in this courthouse. It was personalized, it was vindictive, it intended to lower his standing in our community and within the legal profession. It was unwarranted. I have had occasion again to defend Mr. Chebukati, although he was not my client. I was in a different office. But I recall mentioning in 2017 before your lordships that this gentleman was being vilified for doing exactly what the minor Kiai court told him to do. It told him, don't touch the results coming out of the polling station. That is the final result. We then came here to this court and he was called all manner of names at that time. This has not stopped. What should we learn from this? We should learn one thing, and it is a very unhappy lesson. The attack on the chairpersons of the commission has a long history. There was Justice Zacchaeus Chesoni, there was Samuel Kivuitu, there was Isaac Hassan, and now there is Chebukati. The pattern is the same. The pattern is the same. None of them has been allowed to leave office without vilification and a vindictive process being